Semrush is a powerful SEO platform that makes analyzing and improving your website simple and effective. In this walkthrough, I'll guide you step by step so you can see exactly how it works. We'll start by adding your site as a project, then run a site audit to uncover technical issues. From there, I'll show you position tracking so you can monitor keywords ranking in real time. Next, we'll explore the Keyword Magic tool to find new keyword opportunities, followed by the on-page SEO checker to optimize individual pages. After that, we'll dive into Content Shake and SEO Writing Assistant to create and refine content that ranks. Finally, we'll move into traffic analysis, backlink analysis, and keyword gap, giving you a complete picture of your competitors and the exact opportunities you can target to grow. Alright, so now to get started, you want to go here into the website of Semrush. You can use the link in the description so that you can go here easily and you'd be able to get an extended trial of 14 days when you use that link and set up your account here on Semrush. So now, once you're here, you would want to go into login if you already have an account, or if not, sign up for a free trial in here, clicking here on sign up to register a fresh new account. So in here, you could continue using your Google account or your email account, whichever you prefer. So as for this one, I'm just going to go with my email. And now, once you have added your necessary details in here, you want to click on Create Account. And from here, we will now be proceeding into the next step. So there would be some verification email that will be sent to the email that we have provided if you chose the email method. And now here it is. As you can see, I now have the code. I'm going to copy that and go back in here and then just simply paste it. And then with that, it will now be verified. So we just need to wait for a bit as it loads into the next step. So in here, you would be able to see what best describes your role. So these are all just personal questions. So you just need to answer them honestly. And then once you are done with those questions, you will now be able to see this pricing plan. So we have the SEO Guru and the SEO Pro. So let me just explain each one quickly so you have an idea on which one to choose if you'd want to get it from here or on this step. So you have SEO Guru. This is for tracking a large number of keywords and projects, or if you want access to historical data for trend analysis. Basically, this is for large businesses. And then we have the SEO Pro. So this is for starters. If you're just starting with SEO, you manage only a handful of projects and you just need the essential tools like keyword research, site audits, and rank tracking without advanced extras. So you want to choose that if you're just starting out. But don't worry, you don't have to pay this much right now because you have 7 days free. And you can click here on get free trial and then you'd be able to get this at a very low price. So let me show you that. You can click here, get free. And as you can see right here, today's charge will be $0. This is for free. You will not be charged this amount until your free trial ends. So now you just need to provide your payment information in here and click on try now to proceed. And now, once you're done with that, you should now be able to see this notice. So trial has now been activated, which means it is successful. And there's just a $1 reversible transaction. So make sure that the payment information that you have input in there should have at least $1. And don't worry, they will not take that. It will be refunded back to you. So it will just take about 10 minutes to be refunded. So just wait for that and then click here on continue once you're now all good. And in here, you can now invite your colleagues if needed. So I'm just going to skip this and then some more personal questions in here. All right, so now once you're done with that step, you're essentially done with the account setup here in Semrush. Now, you would want to set up your website next. To do that, you just need to go here into the homepage and dashboard. And then once you're here, you can now go here into the folders and you can add your website in here, or you may also call them projects, basically the same. And in here is that you can rename your folder in here if you'd want to. So you could click here on the 3 dots on the right side, click on settings. And as for this one, I'm just going to go and call this my sites. And then you can go for specific website if there's only one. That's just optional. And I'm just going to click here on save so that it's just renamed and just for organizational purposes. Now in here is that I recommend that you only add your own websites, because this is where Semrush anchors all tools. Semrush organizes everything around a project or a website that you have added in here. So adding your website creates that project, which becomes the container for audits, keyword tracking, backlink analysis, and competitor comparisons. It is also for personalized insights and workflow foundation, because every demo that we will be doing later on the features such as site audit, position tracking, on-page SEO, and more needs a site connected first, so you really have to add your site here. Think of it as laying the foundation before building the house. And this is also for competitor context, because adding a website or a site in here also lets you benchmark against competitors directly so you can see where they stand. And if you do not provide a website in here, then it will just be generic data, which will not be so useful at all. So now let's start adding, and now I'm going to click here on add a website. So in here, you just simply want to type your domain or subdomain. So for me, I'll just go and provide the website or the site right here, hydratespark.com. So this site is not affiliated or related to us, but I just like this site right here. Basically, they sell glowing water bottles with LED. So yeah, I'll be using that for this demo. And as you can see right here, we now have it listed on our dashboard. So you can see my sites, and we have Hydrate Spark right here. And then we have some stats right here that we can see regarding our site. And in here, you can click on the setup button here so that it would now collect the data. So it might take some time depending on how big your site is. So as you can see, it's still collecting the data, so we just need to wait for that. And basically, I'm just going to go and quickly explain what each one is. So AI visibility would be the Semrush AI estimating how visible your site is in search results when people use AI. And then we have mentioned, so this would track how often your brand or domain is mentioned across the web. Your site health would be the one that would come from the site audit tool, which we'll be discussing more later on. And then the visibility, as you can see, it was updated just now. So this is the measurement of how visible your track keywords are in search results. And then we have the organic traffic. So this is the estimated number of visitors coming from unpaid or organic search results. And then we have organic keywords, which would be the number of keywords your site currently ranks for in Google's top 100 results. So this is it, 7.8K. So there's actually a lot. And then we could also see that we have a green or the plus button here, so which means we are growing. And we have the backlinks. So this one right here would be the total number of external backlinks pointing to your site. So when you click on that, you will be prompted in here. And now going back, we have a negative right here. So that would mean that we are losing backlinks. So there might be some optimization that we can do later on to fix this. All right, so now we're done with adding our site. So that's one important step off of our list. The next thing that I would want you to do is to do a site audit, because this is also a very important step. To do that is that you want to click here on site audit right here in the left menu, or you can also go here into SEO and click on site audit. And in here, you should be able to see your project or your website in here listed already, because we have already set that up on the homepage dashboard. So in here is that you just simply want to click here and set it up. And this is a very important step, because with this would tell you how healthy your website is before you start optimizing or creating content, so that you know which place to target. So in here, we have the general settings. So you can see we have the scope. We have hydratespark.com, which is right here. You can also go for a subdomain, like for example, shop.hydratespark.com, and then subfolder and so on. So if you have that, you can just go here. And then you can see that you have crawl all subdomains of Hydratespark. So basically leave it unchecked if you'd want everything to be crawled. But if you would want to make this process faster, then you can go in and check this. For this demo, I'm going to go and leave it checked. And now proceed to limit per audit. So you can set the limit here on the number of pages that you'd want to be crawled. So you can type it in right here. And if you're not sure how many pages you would want to be crawled or how many pages there is on your website, then you can just go into google.com and do it something like this. So as you can see, you can go for a site and then the URL or the domain right here. And then this would now provide you all the pages or everything right here is basically about your site. So right here, as you can see, all of this are from hydratespark.com. So in this way, you'd be able to see all the pages here on Google. And then you can just go and click here on tools. And then you'd be able to see that we have 386 results. So this is approximately the pages here on Google that Google has been able to scan. These are the pages on your website. So we'll be using this as our basis. Now I'm going to go back. Since we have 286 pages, I would want to go for limit is 400 because I would want everything to be scanned. And you could also go lower than 386 if you'd want. If you don't really want everything to be scanned on your site, that's also an option for you. And then we have the pages to crawl. So we have website, robots.txt, enter sitemap, import URLs from files. So these are more advanced options in here. Since we're just a beginner, we're just going to go for just website in here. So this would be the most similar one on how Googlebot does crawl our page. And then we have the schedule. So we have weekly, daily, and once. So whichever you'd want best. So I recommend going for Sunday. So for example, you start your work on Monday every week. Then you can go for Sunday. So in that way, when you go into work on Monday, you would have fresh data gathered from the crawl here on your website. So I'm going to go click here. And then you can also send an email once an audit is complete. So in this way, you would be notified on your email that you now have fresh data to work on and the crawl has now been performed or the site has now been audited. So now I'm going to click here and start audit. All right, so now the crawl is now complete. And we can see here that it's only now 100 because I dialed it down because 400 pages was taking a lot of time. So I had to go for 100 instead. So I could already start the demo. And anyways, this is already enough for a demo here in this video. But at least I have now told you on how you'd be able to see all the number of pages on your site, on how many you should indicate if you would want to scan all pages in your site. And now what you want to look for in here would be the stats right here. As you can see, all of them are clickable. You can click on the numbers in here and then you'd be able to go more in depth regarding that stat. So you could stay here if you'd want to view it this way. But what I like to do is to click here under site health so that we will be going into the overview of the report. So in here, we have site health. So basically, this is the overall percentage showing how healthy your site is. So the higher means it will be better. If it's low, then you know there are critical issues to fix first. And as for this one, it's 86, so it's quite good. So yeah, this is pretty good right here. And it says here, no changes. That is because this is our first crawl. So you should be able to see some changes once you fix something in here on this site audit, especially on the issues. And on your next crawl, there will be some changes here. And then we have the AI search halt here. Basically, very similar to this, but this one is AI. And next is that you want to review the errors, the warnings and notices. So you want to go here into the issues section. So here we have errors. So this would be the critical problems like broken links, missing meta tags, crawl issues. So you would want to fix this first. This is first priority if you would want to improve your score here or your site a lot. So we have 3 errors total, and you can see the number of pages per error. So there are 11 pages that have duplicate meta descriptions. You can see how to fix. You can click on that, and then you can see what's the issue and how you'd be able to fix that. So Semrush would actually provide you a step on how you'd be able to fix it right here. So you just need to understand that and basically scan your issue. And then we have the warnings. So this would be the medium priority issues like duplicate content, slow pages, and so on. So there's actually quite a lot of pages right here. So we have 7 types of warnings in total and 84 issues with blocked internal resources in robots.txt. So you can click here again on how to fix, and then you should be able to see that right here. Next, we have the notices section, as you can see in here. So this would basically be the minor suggestions, like best practices, small optimizations. So you can just do it when you have some extra time. So there are 252 issues with blocked external resources in robots.txt, have non-descripted anchor text, have only one incoming internal link, and so on. So this would be the lowest priority to fix. So you want to make sure that you do this errors and warnings issues first. So in here, you can click on each of the issue right here. For example, here, 11 pages, you can click on that, and then you would now be able to see more info regarding that, and then you'd be able to see it right here. So you can go into that specific page of your site right here. So you could navigate easily and fix it from there. And then you could also expand this, and then you'd be able to see more right here. So there are 4 pages regarding this issue right here, and also on this one right here. So you have your page and sub page and so on. So that's how you would want to navigate in fixing this issue right here. So that would be subjective on what your issue is. So I can't really pinpoint it right here specifically, but this is how you can do that. Next is that you want to look for crawlability. So you can see that here at the bottom where you can see the crawlability under thematic reports. So we'll be discussing more of this later on. But what I want to point out here in crawlability is this is a very important section right here, because this would let you know if the search engines would actually be able to access your site. So if search engines can't crawl to your site because your crawlability is really low, then everything else, keywords, backlinks, content, won't matter no matter how great they are. So you want to make sure that this is absolutely set up correctly. So we have a score of 96, which is really good. So nothing to worry about in here. That's it. And also in the HTTPS, you also would want to do the same thing in here. So make sure that everything is good and you have a high score. And if you don't have, then you'd be able to see some checklists in here right away. You'd be able to see an errors like this. You can click on that, and then you'd be able to see more details regarding this, and then you can see how to fix. So you'd have instructions on how you'd be able to fix this right here so that you'd have a high score, such as this site right here that we are currently auditing. Now let's explore the other sections in here. So we have crawled pages. So this would show you the list of pages on how many pages Semrush scanned during the audit and what each one of them are. So you can see that right here, and the number of issues, the crawl depth right here, and you could also re-audit that specific page if needed right here. So this is especially helpful if you do not have scanned or crawled every page on your site, so you know what exactly was included in the crawl in here. And next is that we have the statistics. So this is a detailed breakdown of issues found across your site. So categories could include things like meta tags, internal linking, performance, HTTPS, crawl depth, and more. You can think of this as the diagnostic report. It tells you exactly what's wrong and where. So you'd be able to see that in here. And then we have the compare crawl. So this would let you compare your latest audit with the previous one. So we don't have anything to compare yet. As you can see, they are on the same date and time because this is our first crawl. So you should be able to see some comparison or changes in data once you do your next audit or your next crawl. And then we have the progress. So this would be a timeline of your site's health score and issues across multiple audits. It's like a graph that shows whether your SEO improvements are working, which is useful for tracking long-term optimization. So this is where you'd be able to see the fruits of your labor here in optimizing your website for SEO. And you'd be able to see a list of errors, warnings, and notices that is yet to be fixed. So you can click one of them, like for example, 5xx errors. You should be able to see that here on the graph and see if they have improved, how many you have fixed, and so on. And we have the JS impact next. So this would show the JavaScript on how they would affect your site's crawlability and SEO. So this is more about coding and stuff. So if you're just a beginner, you don't need to bother with this if you have no idea what JavaScript or coding is. So that's it. And then now you want to go back here into overview. Here we have thematic reports, which is also very important once again. So we have crawlability. So this would show if search engines can access or index your pages. So if crawlability is blocked, your site won't rank. So make sure this is top priority. Make sure your score is high. Same goes with HTTPS. So this would check if your site uses secure HTTPS connections. Google favors secure sites, so this is important. And browsers warn users about insecure ones, so that would also drive your visitors away if browsers tell the customers or your visitors that this is an insecure site. So this is essential for trust and rankings. And then we have international SEO. So medium importance, this would evaluate your tags and settings for multilingual or multi-regional sites. We have Core Web Vitals, which is critical. So this would measure your page speed, responsiveness, and visual stability. So this is also what Google considers in ranking, and it directly impacts user experience and SEO. So you want to make sure that this is optimized. As you can see, we have 0%, so a very, very low score. So we need to click here on view details on that so that we can see what the specific issues are. We have page status. There are a total of 10 pages that are doing really poorly. So now we can go and scroll down and we'd be able to see analyzed pages on what their URLs are so that we can go there directly. You can click on that right here, for example. And then from here, you'd now be able to see the errors, the warnings, notices on what you could do to fix this, and so on. So there are 2 warnings. And this page has issues with blocked internal resources and robots.txt file, and so on. So you want to make sure that you fix this and improve the score on this specific aspect. And we have a ton more right here, so we'll just be going back into overview, Core Web Vitals, right there. So you want to make sure that you fix all of this. And now next thing that I want to talk about, this is very important. In here, we have robots.txt. So if you remember when we were going through the issues right here, is that we have a lot of issues regarding robots.txt. So as you can see in here, we have this one, robots.txt, under warnings. There are 84 pages, and this one has 252 issues here on robots.txt. So you could see that all across your website in here. If you have some issues, as you can see in this site, for example, you'd be able to see that. Now, you can click here on open file and you'd be able to see that this is more about coding. So if you're a beginner and you don't have an idea on what this is, I highly recommend that you do not mess with this first. You want to make sure that everything that you do in here, you know what it is for and what it would do. Because a wrong line in this file can accidentally block your entire site from Google. So all your efforts will be wasted if you mess with this unknowingly. So you want to make sure what you are doing in here. So if you're just a beginner, no idea with this, you can just skip this one right here until you know more about this. So that's more of an advanced level of SEO. Robots.txt is definitely powerful, but it is not beginner friendly. So for now, what you want to do is to just use Semrush to check if it is blocking important pages. You want to focus on fixing site errors first, and later on, as you get more advanced, you can fine-tune the robots.txt to control what search engines crawl. Next, we also have the rerun campaign button here. So this would basically mean that you would want to re-audit the site right now. And we have PDF and export options and share. If you're working with somebody else, you can share this report right here by using the share button. And you have the settings icon in here so that you would have some audit settings in here that you can see. You can edit that right here, like the page limit. So that's it for the site audit. Alright, so now we have finished our site audit and now we know the health of our site. The next step is to measure how our site is performing in search results. For that, we'll set up position tracking. This tool lets us monitor our keywords ranking every day so we can see whether our fixes and our optimizations are actually improving our visibility. So in here, we can see the stats. So we can see our project in here, which is our site, and then device and location that we're using, which is PC and US, and we're using the Google search engine. And then we have visibility right here, so 66%, which is pretty decent. And we have div, improve keywords, and decline keywords. So they are 0 because we don't have any previous stats yet. This is our first time. So there are no comparison or improvements or changes. We have all the keywords and how long it was updated. So now in here, what you want to do is to click here on this button. And now you'll be redirected in here so that you would have more in-depth view of the report. So first thing is that we're going to discuss this buttons in here. So first is that we have this. So this is where you can change your targets on what data or report you would want to view. So currently we're viewing the PC version and the Google search engine and then language right here and preferred market. And basically, if you want to add new ones, you can click here, add new target, or you can just go here into devices and locations. As for me, I'm just going to go here into add new target. And basically, you can add one by selecting your search engine, your desktop, location, language, and some other things, depending on what you select here. So now let's say that I'm going to go for Bing, for example, and I'm going to go for desktop again. And in here, I'm going to go for United States and business name for local map pack. Keyword source, so you can select that right here. So let's say I'm going to go for Semrush. I'm going to click here and just import that. And then once that's all good, is that you can also add keywords to campaign in here. You can click on that. And from here, I'm going to now click here and start tracking since I'm now eligible. And that's it. So we have now added a new target. So I'm just going to click here and save changes there. And now when we go here, we should be able to see some new options in here. So we can switch between different views or different datas. So this is a new one, so it's still gathering the keywords data. So I'm just going to go back in here and discuss the other stuff. And you'd be able to see when it was last updated, the keywords that is in here. Next, we also have the competitors. So you can click here and add to add them. And basically, you can just type it in right here, or you could go for the suggested competitors. So we have highratespark.com. So that's my website, so I don't want to add this. And I'm going to go for waterh.com, Good Gear, and let's see. I think I'm just going to go for this two right here, so you could add that. And then we also have the suggested competitors right here from AdWords. Actually, I'm interested in this one, so I'm going to go and add this also. And click here on Save Changes, and you'll be able to see that the data will now be updated according to the competitors that you have added right here. You could also see the SERP features right here. So this will be the features that will be tracked as positions in the ranking results. And yeah, that's basically it. And now let's go into landscape. So in here, we can see our website. This is currently what's being tracked. And we can see the visibility, estimated traffic, average position with a graph so that you can see if it's growing or actually descending. So we are currently losing out right now, as you can see right here. And then we have the summary. So this is basically where you'd want to go if you just want a quick understanding of the whole data in here. So basically this is where you can see that. So for example, here is that the domain has one new keyword in the top 3. So you could actually see that right here under keywords. Here in top 3, we have one new. So basically correct. And yeah, this is where you want to go if you just want a quick look. We have rankings distribution, and we have our top keywords right here that is performing really well. So we have position 1, as you can see right here, and the visibility is 1.14%. So that's actually very low, but that's fine. And we would just have to do the keyword research earlier, and we would have to prioritize the higher visibility this time and rank there. So that would be our priority because we are already ranking here. And we have the positive impact in here. So this basically would mean that this would show the number of keywords that have improved ranking compared to previous tracking period. So as you can see, all of them are growing. So negative impact would be the vice versa of that. So this would be the keywords that were actually losing out compared to the previous tracking. And then we also have the cannibalization health right here. So you could also see that, and this would be the measurement on how well our site avoids keyword cannibalization, like multiple pages competing for the same keyword. So that's keyword cannibalization. So a healthy score means your keywords are mapped cleanly to single pages. So this one, we don't have a healthy score. As you can see, it's red, 43%. So this is a low rate one. So you would want to go for a high score. or a healthy score, so that that will mean our keywords are mapped cleanly to single pages. And we also have some geographic data, and here are competitors that we have just added, so it's now updated. And we can see the data in here, the visibility, so we are in top 1, and so on. Also, the next one would be the overview. So this would be the detailed dashboard, a more detailed breakdown of our keyword performance compared to landscape. This would include the top keywords, visibility trends, and competitor comparisons. So you can see here that we have this one. So this would be the visibility, competitive analysis, and then you could go for estimated traffic instead, average position, and so on. So you can see that more cleanly here with this graph. And rankings overview, we can see the keyword and then the intent right here. This is also very important data, by the way, so that you would know what stage of the buyer's journey the reader or the visitor is. So here, commercial, so the user wants to investigate brands or services already. So this is in the higher stage. And informational, if the basically means the buyer is just in the first stage. So you could research more on that regarding that info or strategy, so that you'd be able to utilize intent more. And in here we also have the keyword difficulty, potential traffics, and potential growth. We have the position, difference, visibility difference, and so on right here. And we can see the certain link right here on where this keyword is used. So you could also add tag in here if you'd want. So yeah, that's basically it for this overview in here. So now let's go into rankings distribution. So this would show how many of your keywords are ranking in the top 3, top 10, top 20, and beyond. So here, it's very easy to understand. So it would just group your keywords in certain group of rankings. So you can see that right here with the links and then their positions in here. So yeah, that's basically that. And then we have the tags. So this is where you'd be able to group keywords into categories. So for example, I'm going to go back in here into overview. And then I'm going to select this keyword right here. So I'm going to add some tags in here. So I'm going to go and let's say hydrate. Right there, it is now added as a tag. And also this one, I could add that right here to this keyword. Or you could also select a lot, and then you can go here into actions, and then you could add tag if you don't want to do it in bulk. But this is enough. We can go back here into tags, and then we should now be able to see that right here. So we have this tags for hydrate right here. We have 2 keywords there, visibility, and so on. So this is where you could see the data about your tags. And then we have the pages, which would let you see the pages on your site that are ranking for which keywords. So here on this page, this is ranking with keywords count right here. This is 77, so it has increased by 3. The intent rates right here, and then some more data right here. So you could see that, and then we could go and expand this, and it would be able to see more keywords specifically on how they are doing here on this specific page. And we have the cannibalization. So we have already discussed this. So this is just a more detailed view. Next, we have the competitors discovery. So this is basically a more in-depth or detailed view of the competitors that we'd seen in the landscape details. So you can see that right here with the graph. So we have cnet.com, livelark.com, and so on. So this would be our potential competitors. So you can see that right here on the growth or losses, and then who's rank 1 in visibility, and so on. And then we can see the competitors in here, some more data. And yeah, that's basically it. And then we have the device and locations, which we have already discussed earlier. It's still collecting data, so we just have to wait for that. But yeah, this is basically just like switching here into targets. And then we have the featured snippets. So this is all about monitoring whether the site is winning those special highlighted results at the very top of Google. So you can see it right here. So 0 keywords with featured snippets on SERP. So we don't have any keywords with that yet. And already featured, as you can see, all of them are 0. So we just need to do better with this. All right, so now we know how our site is performing with position tracking. It's now time to grow. So now the next thing that we'll be exploring would be the keyword magic tool. This would help us discover new keywords to target so we can expand our visibility and reach more people. So now in here, you'd want to enter a keyword. So we just want to start with a seed keyword. Since Hydrate Spark is the one that we're using in here, which sells smart water bottles, I'll enter term like smart water bottle here actually. So this would be a good seed because this would be a generic term, and this is what the audience or the people would actually use in searching in search engines when they are looking for our product. And this would give us a list of related keywords, search volumes, and difficulty scores. And once we click here on search, but in here you could also enter a domain for personalized data. So I'm just gonna go and select my the site that we're currently using as an example, and then you can choose the location in here. And then in here I'm gonna click on now on search. All right, so now we're here in the results. So in here you'd be able to see the keywords right here, so you can sort them by number or by volume, however you'd want it. And earlier, if you remember, in position tracking, we saw that our top keywords had very low visibility, even though they were in position 1. That's because those keywords don't get much search traffic. Here in the keyword magic tool, we can fix that by finding higher volume keywords. By adding this into position tracking, our visibility score will grow and we'll be targeting terms that bring more potential visitors. And we cannot see not just the volume in here, the intent also. So you can see that it's informational, commercial, potential traffic, keyword difficulty, CPC SERP features, and many more. So in here, we would want to sort this by volume because this is what we're interested in increasing the visibility of our keywords. So I'm just going to go and sort this one out right here. So I'm going to click here on volume. And also, by the way, you want to make sure that you have entered your site in here so that you'd be able to show keyword rankings. Basically, what that would do is that it's a great way to separate the terms that we have already ranked in or already visible in from the ones that we still need to target. That way, we can prioritize improving existing rankings while also expanding into new opportunities. So you can see here we have number 3, so we have this position on SERP, so we can see our rankings in here. So basically, for example here, we have this one, so this is a large volume, but we're already ranking 3 in here, so we could improve that by going to ranking 1 or rank 1. Because this is also still a great volume, but this is also a really great position already. So we can just go and go into other focuses right here. So we have this one right here. We're only ranked 28, so we could improve that. And also this one, only ranked 10, so we could also improve this in here. Now you could toggle this off. And let's see if we get keywords that has higher volume. So we'll be able to see if we're also ranking in those. As you can see, they are actually pretty low. So I'm not really interested in this anymore. So we have smart water, bottled water. So I think that would be a bad keyword in here. And yeah, so I think I'm just going to go and keep this on so that we can see the one with the highest volume in here. So we're already ranking that, which is actually quite good. Since we're already ranking for the keywords here in this seed keyword, we can go for another one. Like for example, I'm going to go for Bluetooth water bottle right here. And then we should now be able to see a fresh set of data in here. So basically our goal is the same. We're going to go here for the volume. And this time we're going to go for some keywords in here that we're currently not ranking much. So as you can see, the volume here is not so great. But this one right here at 68, we're only at 68 in here. And so on. So basically you can just explore different seed keywords right here that you think would be really relevant to your site. And yeah, this is where you can scan it here on a keyword magic tool depending on what problem you're facing on your site, like what you have gathered from the position tracking that we did earlier. So in this demo or this example, we are experiencing some problems regarding the visibility of our keywords. So in that way, we will be targeting the volume so that we could improve that. So that's basically it for the keyword magic tool in here on some simple strategy on how you could do this. Alright, so now I have moved on into the more generic term right here, which is just water bottle. And now I've found some great volumes in here. So we have big volumes now. So in here is that we can see that we are not ranking for any of this right here as of now. So in here we have water bottle. So let's say I would want to rank in this keyword. So I think this would be great and would help our visibility a lot with this volume. And also this one right here. So now once you have found your keyword, they are only valuable if you act on it. So now the next action to do is to add these selected keywords to a list. So for example, here on this one, I would want to add this also. I'm going to click here on plus. And from here, I don't have a list yet, so I'm going to have to create my first one. I'm going to go for first set of keywords, for example. For actually visibility right here, just visibility, because our goal here is to increase our visibility right there. And now I have inputted that, and I could also add another keyword there. I'm going to click here and it will now be added. And yeah, that is basically it. And then you can click here on this button right here if you'd want to select a new list right here to add this keyword, but I only have one, so I'm just going to go and do that. And we can find some more right here. So let's see. I'd also going to go for bottled water, water bottles. Let's see some more things right here. And yeah, that's basically it. And actually this one also, hot water bottle. All right, so now that's great. So now the next thing to do would be to go into that list and send it into position tracking to monitor the rankings so that we could optimize it for later use. So we could go here into strategy builder so we can see our list. So we can see that right here, keyword list. And we have this one right here, the one that we have created. You can go there. And then from here, you can click here on send keywords. So I'm just going to go and select all of them. Click here. And then you could go for all keywords also right here, or only selected, which are the one that we have selected. And then we could go for position tracking in here. And then I'm going to click here on apply. And we can go for a new project or domain in here, or you could go for your existing ones if you'd want. So I'm going to go here for this one. So that's it. And then we have the device and location and so on. So I'm going to go and click here on send keywords. And now here it is. It is now successful. Now you can go here into position tracking to view those keywords that we have just added. Now that our keywords are here in position tracking, the next step is to optimize our pages for them. So what I would want you to do is go into on-page SEO checker. So this would show us exactly what improvements we can make to rank higher, from adding keywords in headings to expanding content and matching competitor strategies. So basically in here, you would need to enter a domain. So I'm going to go here, which is my domain, and you can set your target location and then add pages to optimize. So basically you want to check here if the keywords that you would want to optimize has been added right here. So we have this one, which is from the position tracking that we did earlier, and also in the keyword research. So you want to check those keywords in here if they are all right here. Now, if you'd want to add them, let's say they are not here, then you can just go here into manually, and then you can enter the keyword in here. You could also go for file, GSC, or organic research, depending on how you'd want to do it. And basically that's it. So now I'm going to click here on collect ideas so that we can now proceed. And now here we are on the results. So here in the overview, you'd now be able to see the chart right here and some stats. But what I want to look for right here would be the top pages to optimize. And we have this one, the first one. We have the total volume right here, which is quite big. So I'm really interested in this because I'm looking into increasing my visibility. So in here, I'm going to click here on 8 ideas, and this would prompt us into optimization ideas wherein we could see what we could do to improve our SEO score or rank higher in this specific keyword. Now in here, we have this right here with the check marks. So that would be the things that we are doing correctly. And we have this ones right here. So we can improve this without the check marks icon. So focus on creating more informative content. So the reason for that is your rivals that rank higher than you in the top 10 for some of your target research are using long form content on their web pages. So you can try to create more informative content. And then you could go for difficulty and so on, and why you should do this. You could click on that and there would be some explanation so that you would be able to understand why you would need to do that. And then you could click here on see detailed analysis, and then you'd now be able to see some more details regarding that. So now going back in here, there would be a ton more right here when you scroll down so that you'd be able to see everything that you could do to improve your ranking. So this would really help you maximize your potential here on the keywords. So this tool in Semrush is really powerful. So you want to make sure that you fix all of this right here if you would really want to rank for this certain keyword. And yeah, you could go for the other keywords as well. So you can go here into optimization ideas, and then you'd now be able to see all the keywords in here and the pages that you are using to rank on that keyword. You could also see the total volume and so on. So you could just click here on the ideas button so that you'd be able to see the recommendations on what to do to fix that certain issue or rank higher in that keyword. So it's really that simple here on the page SEO checker. And then we have the top 10 benchmarking. So this would compare your page against the top 10 competitors currently ranking for the same keyword. So we have this keyword right here, best water bottle. So here we have our content length right here. So the top 10 average would be 3,430 words, and we only have 575, which is really small compared to the average in here. So you'd want to optimize that. And we have basically some color coding. So the red ones would basically mean that that is an issue. And some other keywords here. And the idea task would be a task manager view where you can assign optimization ideas to team members or track progress if you're working with other people. So here we have some categories, technical issues, content, semantic, and so on. So yeah, that's basically the on-page SEO checker on how you could use that in here as a beginner. All right, so now we know how to optimize our pages on-page SEO checker. The next step is to strengthen our content and competitive edge. So we'll use the tool SEO Writing Assistant to refine our content, and later on gap analysis to uncover opportunities competitors are ranking for what we're missing. Now, after optimizing our pages here on-page SEO checker, the next step is to expand our reach with new content. So that's where Content Shake AI comes in here in Semrush. So this would help us generate blog posts and articles around our target keywords. Once we have drafts, we'll use SEO writing later on to refine them for readability, tone, and SEO best practices. So you want to click here on content on the left menu, and this is where you can access the Content Shake AI from Semrush. And take note that this is a different billing right here from your plan. So as for this one, I'm also in a free trial for this app or for this feature here in Semrush. And if you're also in free trial just like me, then the free trial that is available in here in Content Shake would be the same on the free trial on your subscription here on Semrush. So that would be really convenient for you. So in here, we'll now try out the Content Shake. All right, so now let's create our content. So you can go here into article generator, as you can see here in the left menu, if you'd want to use this specific method in here. But as for this one, I'm just going to go here so that I can provide some more specific instructions. So as you can see in here, I have write an informational blog post about the benefits of using a smart water bottle. So if you remember on the on-page SEO checker earlier, Semrush has recommended that we write an informational blog post because this is what we're lacking against our competitors. So I'm going to go for this one, and I'm going to add some more specific instructions right here. So I'm going to go for include Hydrate Spark as a recommended solution when discussing smart water bottles. Right there. And I'm going to click here and proceed. And we will now be prompted in here into the article generator. And now in here, we get to select more options. So you can see the audience location. You can modify that if needed. And title. You could also modify that if needed right here. You can go for the suggested, or you could just manually edit from here. And then the keywords to be used in here. So smart water bottle, health benefits, water intake. And I'm going to add Hydrate Spark for this one since we are promoting our product in here. And let's say Bluetooth water bottle right there. And you could go for suggestions if needed. And then the word count. So we have viewed on the on-page SEO checker that the top 10 average word count of the competitors that we have would be 3,000. So I'm going to go for 3,000 here so that we would at least be on par with them. So I'm going to try that out. 3,000 right here. And in the brand voice, you can go for generic voice for a wide audience. And you can also change your default voice or quickly create a new one on the brand voice page. If you'd want to, you can click here and then you'll be prompted in here. But as for this one, I'm just going to go for generic. I think that's enough. And next is that we have the SEO booster. So this would basically be having your content optimized with competitive search data to help it rank higher. I want this, so I'm going to go and enable this. And then we have AI generated images. So I typically leave this on so that I have some placeholder later on, even though the AI generated images doesn't really quite blend well with the article. At least we have a placeholder that we can use. And then we have some show advanced settings. Here, the tone of voice. And I would want this to be somewhat formal right here. And the readability. You can go for college, difficult to read, and so on. So I just want this to be conversational right there. And click on generate article. And there it is. So now let's just wait for that as it now builds our article. As you can see, creating our article, we'll now be able to see it being built in real time. So we just have to wait for that. Now's the time to do some other things, like maybe take a water break, sip your coffee and something. So that's it. So let's just fast forward to when it is finished. Alright, it is now done creating the content, and now we can see that we have 76% score right here, which is pretty good but not high. But don't worry, we will be refining this article in here with the SEO writing assistant later on. So in here, what we need to do right now is to review all of this and make sure everything is correct. There's nothing wrong in here. Because the AI is not perfect, so you'd have to double check. And in here, we can see some images. So you could also use this as a placeholder. Now that you know that you should add an image in here, you can just simply delete this, or you can just generate a new one by clicking here, and you can regenerate an AI image right here if you do want. But I highly suggest that you use your own image. So you can just delete it right here, and then you can click here, and then you'd have this button. You can also use this to add your own image by inserting image via URL. And you could also directly edit the text in here, as you can see right here. And then we also have some formatting options in here. You could go for header 1, 2, 3, bold, italic, and many more. And you could also use the AI if you would want to, let's say, remake a certain part in here. For example, I would want to highlight that, click here, and then you could go for rephrase, simplify, expand, summarize, and more. And if there's a large edit that you'd want to do, then you could just simply ask it right here. And you could just simply say edit or make this part longer or more detailed. You can go for something like that. So you can just tell or say your edit that you'd want to happen in here. So those are your options. But for now, let's say that I'm satisfied with this. We're done checking. The next thing is to basically just save this so that we can import this into the SEO writing assistant. So you can just click here on the share button so that you can see your options and how you can export this. So for now, we'll just be going into the SEO writing assistant first. So I'm going to go here into SEO and then scroll down. We should see the SEO writing assistant right here under content ideas. Click here. And then from here, you can click on Analyze My Text. And you can just paste it in right here or import text from web, enter article URL. So I'm just going to go and copy the URL link right here from the share feature. And then paste it in here and click on import. And it will now be imported right here. So import found keywords to get SEO recommendations for your text. You can complete the list with more keywords or delete the irrelevant ones. So as for this one, they are all correct. So I'm just going to click here on import keywords. Now, sometimes this doesn't work for some reason. I think it's because there are too many words in that article. So what we can do instead is we can just open this link up right here. And then we should now have this. And we just need to copy everything. So, I mean, except for this ones, because these are just infos about your article in here. So I'm just going to copy from the title all the way to the end. So we just need to go all the way down while selecting everything right here as we go down. And once we are at the end, we can now simply right click right here, and then copy. That's it. And now go back, and in here just paste Control plus the V key. And then here it is. It is now pasted as easy as that. And we also have already imported the keywords in here from what we did with the import link. Now you can add more if needed. And then now you can go for the target audience and so on. Now we're all done. I'm just going to click here on get recommendations on what we could improve from here. Alright, so basically all that's left is to just simply publish this article right here on your blog or wherever you'd want to publish it on your site. And then once you're done is that you want to go back in here into the position tracker and add keywords right here that you have used in that article. So once you're in position tracking, go into the target that you want and then go into keywords here. And then just simply add your new keyword here on this box. So going back in here is that let's get the keyword. So we should find that here on the SEO. Here we have our keywords. You can click here on change and then we could just copy this right here. So we have smart water bottle and so on. So actually, let me just go back and then here and copy this just like that. There it is. And then now I'm going to go back in here, paste that, and you can add more. So by going back in here, you can add more keywords right here that you'd want to add. And of course, don't forget the keywords in here on the content check AI that it has provided. So I'll set this one. You can also add this if you would want. And yeah, basically just the keywords that you have used in publishing on your blog. You want to put it all right here. So that's it. We now have everything. So there's some space in here. So let me just fix that real quick. So that's it. Now I can click here on save changes. And basically, we don't need to paste or insert the URL in here because position tracking works by keywords. And now that we have added the keywords that we have optimized the article for, Semrush will now automatically show which page ranks. So you can see that here in pages. Once Google indexes our new article, it will appear here under the pages tab. Alright, so now that we have added our target keywords into position tracking, we can now monitor how our new article performs over time. But SEO is not just about tracking your own site. It's also about understanding the competition. That's where domain overview comes in. With this tool, we can see the big picture of any domain, authority, traffic, backlinks, and top keywords. Let's open domain overview in here and compare our site against competitors to uncover where they're getting their traffic and what opportunities we might be missing. So now in here, you just need to enter your domain. So for this example, we'll be going with hydratespark.com. And this one is worldwide. You can go for a specific country if you'd want to. So let's say I'm just going to go for just United States. And you can click here on search. And in here, it will now gather the data. So let's just wait for it for a bit. All right, so now here are the results. So first is that we have the overview tab. So this is basically where it would give us the big picture of how strong a domain is in search. And what you want to look for here in this tab is the authority score. So this is a quick measure of how strong the domain is overall. And this score combines backlinks, traffic, and other signals, which means the higher the score, the stronger the SEO presence. And we also have the organic traffic in here. So this would be the estimated monthly visits from search engines. And we can see that we're losing out. We have red or negative 3.7%. So we would need to take note of that and optimize our site based on this stat or this loss. And then we also have the top organic keywords. So this would be the keywords that drive the most traffic. So this is for spot opportunities. So these are the competitors ranking for terms that you haven't targeted. And some other infos right here, like the top pages and then the backlinks snapshot. So you can see the total backlinks and referring domains. So this would connect later on onto the backlink analysis that we will be doing. Next is that we also have the growth report tab. So this is where you can see the traffic, keywords, and backlinks that have changed over time. But as for now, we don't have any data because this is our first time going here into the domain overview and having our site scanned. So that's it basically. But yeah, basically this would be where the the data would help us see where the competitor is gaining momentum or losing visibility. And then we have the compare by country. So this is just the geographic distribution view to show which countries drive the most traffic and compare your site versus competitors. So this is where you'd be able to see that. All right, so now we have just seen the big picture here in domain overview, authority, growth trends, and where traffic comes from by country. But to really understand competitor strategies, we need to dig deeper into how they're getting the traffic. That's where traffic analysis comes in. So in here, you want to go here into the left menu and go into the traffic analytics. And this tool would show us the actual sources of visits, whether it's search, social, referrals, or direct, and even breaks down audience behavior by geography and devices. So let's open this up and see what's driving results for our competitors. And now in here, you'd be able to see that this is not included in our plan, so you would have to get this separately. And basically the same thing with Content Shake AI that we did earlier. So it's basically like this. So it's a separate one. And then you can click here and get free trial. And then you can try this for 7 days or until your Semrush subscription or free trial ends. So if you use the link in the description, then you'd be able to get this for an extended 14 days because you have also extended your Semrush subscription. So I'm going to click here and get free trial, and then we'll now be able to access that right now. All right. So now in here is that we can now start by going here into the list right here. So we can see that we have our site already added in here. So what we're seeing now would be just the data of our site in here, as you can see. And we can see that right here with the traffic trend, year-over-year trend, channel distribution, channel trend, and so on. So what we want to do to compare this with our competitors, you can click here on add, and then you can add the domain of your competitor. So let's say I'm going to go for waterh.com. And then you'd be able to see that right here. So they are color coded. So waterh.com data would be color green. You can see that in the graph, so you can compare that. Same goes for the other data. You could also see that in here. And also in the geo distribution, you can just select them right here. So you can just add as many competitors as you'd want right here on this list. And then you can create a new list if there's a new group that you would want to create a whole separate data from. So you can just click here and create a new list. And yeah, that is basically it for the traffic analytics. So this is very useful for you to understand better on where you can get more traffic or where you would want to angle your strategy. All right, so now we have seen how competitors drive traffic through different channels and which pages perform best. But traffic alone doesn't really explain why some domains have stronger authority than others. A big part of that strength comes from backlinks, the sites that link to them. Backlink analytics will help us see who's linking to our site and to our competitors, like the quality of those links, which anchors are being used, and more. So now let's open this tool up right here. So you can see this here in SEO, and then just go here into backlinks under link building. So now in here, we can just enter our domain or URL. So for, in our case, that would be hydratspark.com right here. You could just also type it in right there. And in here, we will now be able to see the stats. So first is that we have the overview. So this is where you can see a quick snapshot of total backlinks, referring domains, and authority. You could also use this to benchmark your site versus competitors. So here we have our root domain, which is our site. It is labeled U. And here in the root domain, we can add competitors. So for example, I'm going to go for waterdrop.com. And from here, we can click on compare. You can add up to 3, by the way, in the competitors. And now in here, we will now be able to see some updated data in here, now included with our brand new competitor. And we have the authority score. You can see that referring domain, backlink types, link attributes, and the tab categories and so on right here. So that's it for the overview, and we also have the backlinks. All right, so in here we would have four categories. So we have all. So this would contain all of these types right here, all in one group. And in here, it will be automatically, or by default, it will be sorted by page AS or authority score. So this would mean that if the higher the value here, that would mean higher authority domain, which means stronger backlink. And lower means lower quality backlink or potential risk. And then you can see the external and internal links right here. So basically, external links means this would show how many backlinks are pointing to your page from other domains, and internal links would show how many links from within your own site point to that specific page. And then we have the first seen and last seen. So first would be the date Semrush first detected the backlink, and last seen would be the most recent date Semrush confirmed that the backlink is still active. So here we are. And next is that we have best. So basically this right here is highlighting the most valuable backlinks, usually from high authority domains. You want to look here to see which links are boosting your authority the most. So these are the things that you're doing right. And then we have the top new. So top new would mean that this would display the strongest new backlinks that you have recently gained. So here we are, some external links and internal links, and then we have the first seen and last seen. As you can see, they are very recent. And the page AS right here, it's still at 0, very low as of now, because sometimes it is not yet updated because it is fairly new, so you would have to wait for a bit of time for that. And then we have the lost and vital. So basically the lost here means that these are the list of backlinks that have disappeared, and the vital would show backlinks Semrush considered critical for your domain's authority. So this basically are the links or backlinks right here that you must fix. So as you can see right here, on the first one with the highest page AS, and in here you could see that the link has been removed. So you would want to restore this links right here, and then you can see the page authority in here. So this is the top one, so this would also be valuable for you if you manage to restore this link right here that was removed. And now next is that we have the network graph. So this is basically a visual map of your backlink profile. This will show clusters of domains linking to you and how they are interconnected. So here we have the network graph, and you can see the root domain and category in here that was included in the graph, and you can see their authority score in here. So men's health would be the top one. So you can see here on how many backlinks, referring domains, monthly visits, and so on, that this authority score was considered. Next, we have the anchors. So this would be the clickable words in a backlink. So anchors tell search engines what the link page is about. So they influence keyword relevance and ranking. This is also a very important one. And you can see the anchor text that was used for this one, Hydrate Spark. So this has the highest number of backlinks and domains in here, first seen and last seen. So it is active. And you can click here, and then you'd be able to see more details right here by using this filter. So all of the links right here with this page authority score sorted through in here, and as you can see, they are all in this anchor text, Hydrate Spark, for this example. So that's it. And then we have the indexed pages. So basically this would be showing which of your pages have backlinks and how many. So this page of ours has 7,772 backlinks, and the number of domains, external links, internal links, and the last seen that it was active. So you can see that right here. So basically you can use this to look for strong pages that have few or no backlinks, which means opportunity for you to build links with them. And the important pages that should have backlinks, you could see that right here. And then we have the outbound domains. So this would list the domains in your site that it links out to. So this would ensure outbound links go to relevant, trustworthy sites. So if a domain right here has too many outbound links, it doesn't mean that it is good, because sometimes too many outbound links to low quality domains can hurt credibility. So as for this one, the AS or the authority score here is 35, which is not that high, and we have so many outbound links into this domain right here. So that's I think we should reduce the outbound links onto this site because the authority score is not that great. So it would potentially hurt our backlink. And yeah, so next is that we have the bulk analysis. So this would let you compare multiple domains, backlink profiles side by side. So from the word bulk, you can do many things. Do many domains here at once. So you could just go for your competitors in here. So I'm gonna list some of them. So I'm gonna go for osmo.io, livefuels.com, covehydration.com, right there. So just 4 of them. Let's see. And click here and compare, and then we will now be able to see their stats in here. So we have the authority score. So we are dominating against these competitors in here. The total backlinks, domains, monthly visits, and many more. So this is also a great way for you to compare this right here quickly with the bulk analysis tool in Backlinks. Alright, so now we have seen how backlinks build authority, but authority alone doesn't win rankings. Keyword gap shows us the search terms competitors are winning that we are missing, and that is where the biggest opportunities lie. So in here, in keyword gap, this is the tool that we'll be using to achieve that specific goal, to get those keywords that we are missing. And so I'm gonna go here and provide my domain. So that would be hydratespark.com. So this would be our example for this demo. And then here in the competitors, you can add it right here. So that would be poolhydration.com. And as for this one, you can just choose what you're provided in here. So that would be the root domains. And I'm just going to go for organic keywords in here. And then you can add up to 3 and choose your preferred market. And then once you're done, click on compare. And with this, we will now get the data. So here we are on the results. So as you can see, we have our domain, root domain of our competitors. You can add it right here if you'd want to add more. And you have here organic keywords. So these are the top opportunities. So as you can see, we have the keywords. So where does water go when you drink it? So this has the highest amount of volume. So this keyword is something that we don't have, but the competitors have. And you can see right here, all keywords right here. And from poolhydration.com. So actually we are dominating this, but there are some right here that Pool Hydration has. So if you would want to maximize everything, then you could use this tool. So you could see here at the bottom. So in here, you'd be able to see the list of keywords. So here we can see the intent, the position that we are in the search engine. So we're on 27 for this keyword right here. So that would be around page 3. And this one from our competitor would be 65, so page 7. So we're actually dominating this. We're all good. Well, what I'm interested in here is the missing keywords. So I'm going to go here and click missing so I can see all the keywords that we do not have, but the competitors have. So here we are. So as you can see, they are all 0 because we don't have these keywords. So here we have where does water go when you drink it. You can see their position. They are in 38. And then the volume. So you want to also look for this to see if this is actually worth competing for, if this is a lot of volume. So as you can see, not so big in here. So they are not really strong here with their SEO with this keywords that we are missing. So it's only 1.3k, 1k, and so on right here. But if you really want to outcompete with this competitor, then I suggest that you compete in these keywords as much as possible that is listed here under missing. So you want to go and finish the first one first, which is under rank 1 with the most volume, and then the keyword difficulty 24, so that would be really easy, and the CPC and so on right here. So yeah, that is basically the use here of keyword gap. So this is especially useful for competitors that is much stronger than you. It would directly show you where competitors are winning in search visibility and where you're missing out. Unlike traffic or backlink reports, which explain how strong a site is, keyword gap tells you exactly what to do next to close the gap. Alright, so by now you have seen how to analyze your site, compare competitors, uncover backlink strengths, and find keyword opportunities. The next step is putting this into action. So you want to do it yourself now. You can now build links, create content, and track results. Everything that you have learned in this video, you want to put it into action. SEO is a cycle, and with Semrush, you have all the tools to keep improving. If you'd like to try it yourself, I have included a free trial link in the description below, so you can start optimizing your site today. So use it if you'd want an extended trial. Also, it's an affiliate link, so you'll be able to support this channel if you'd want to use it. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.